Hi everyone. The rest of this video is going to be about me completing the drawing behind me. This is for our tonal drawing, in ink, and I filled in the black. You saw yesterday I was having a little bit of a struggle getting the black or the actual ink to settle down, so that problem seems to have gone away mostly overnight. Really happy about that. At any rate, enjoy this video and I will see you soon. All right, recording again, and I am hoping to finish this up now. I only have a few more places to go in. I'm gonna go in and do all of the darker tones in here. These are little pots of watercolor. These, again, following the rules of linear perspective in here. Still want, you don't want to abandon any of the techniques that we've learned so far. I'm going to just really stay in that realm of believability with using, again, the techniques that turn perceptual drawing into the realm of believability, keeps them in that realm. So these are all dark in here, and I can go in here and feel pretty confident about the shape that's in here. Take that all the way across. Take those all so they're even. They're all on the same plane. Same horizontal plane, same horizontal plane, same horizontal plane. And that just keeps the uniformity of it happening. Take these here. Wish I hadn't jacked up my paper, but I did. It's not fatal, it's just sort of jacked up. Okay, keep those congruent with the direction they're supposed to be going. Okay. Lines in between the little cups, and then this is the front boundary, and I'm not worried too much about keeping that neat because I'm going to be shading them in because they're all filled with, they've been, the paint runs over all of these borders. All right, there's a little space in between there, and then this is a little roll of that hinge. And I'm just going to put a line in here to describe that hinge. Go in here and put a line in there where that rolls. I'm not going to be real consistent with those. These, I'm going to try to get these a little on the right side. Contours. And I don't mean like right contours, I mean correct. So, hoping to make that happen in there. These are filled in. A little darker here. where the paint wells up in there and gets darker, loads across there. Again with the, hoping I get that contour right, but I think I've messed it up just a little, but you know, that's okay too. This in here is a little darker. Just going to take these down, give a little sense of value in there. This is really dark in here where the paint overflowed. Got a little sense of white in there, and then it gets really dark in here. And all of these are relatively dark. These are all darker in here. Still trying to stay as close to the, staying congruent with the contour lines. Going darker in here. Do have some areas of white popping up in there. This is all dark in here. Load that there. This rounds in there. That has lots of paint all over it. So I'm going to shade all of this in. This is going to get darker across here. And it's all dark in here. And these are all dark. I'm going to just run those vertically to just put value in all of them, and then moderate that value with a little more with the vertical lines. They're diagonal, but I'll call them vertical because there's, you know, they're going to be diagonal but with a tendency towards vertical, or they'll just at least take up the vertical component of my lines. All of this in here is, this is all darker in here. I can load a decent amount of value in here, putting all of that darkness down in there. And then again, darkness in here. It's all way darker in here because the paint is just splashed out everywhere. Put that line in there too. This is darker in here, really super dark down in here. Over here it's dark, and then just sort of a mid-tone in there. Goes mid-tone in through here. Again, get these really dark because they're, all of the paint inside of here is much darker. And this one does a 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one does a really super heavy dark over here. We'll fill this all in black. This one, it's dark, the paint is a little unevenly distributed in them, so I'm going to try to get that sense in here. This gets a little dark in here, and again with the uneven distribution, getting dark over here, and dark in over here, uneven distribution. See if I can make these all darker in here. Just take those all down just slightly. And play in here with the paint in there to distinguish it from the little tins that it's the, not the tins, this is called cake watercolor, so the little pans that it's being held in, these are like, think of them as pans. This, again, I've got another really strong horizontal in there, another really strong horizontal in here where the paint is unevenly distributed in there. And again, where it's really dark over here in this corner. This one is dark over here in this corner, and dark again over here. And then all of these are all dark in here, and these get much darker in between. So I'm going to describe the darkness in between and the darkness in between. Darkness in between, go in and go dark in here too. Describe the darkness in between, go down. Again, just keeping that sense of linear perspective. These are really super dark in between. Super dark in between because they really fall into shadow. So then that keeps those nice and separated, and I'm going to just give them a more darkness overall to describe the contour they're actually taking. This gets in here, and the hinges end there, and let's see, on that 1, 2, 3, about right here. So make this darker in here and take that up and down. And then that goes in through here again and stops about right there and gets darker again here. So I'll fill that in, just fill that in slightly. This is darker again here where, again, the paint pulls up. And that's like a pull, not a P-U-L-L, but a P-O-O-L, pull. This goes down here, and I've got some darkness in through here where, again, the paint pulls up. Going in through here, like this. Put that little ridge there. And again here where the paint pulls up, take it around the corner. Just giving this top a little bit more dimension. And then all the way down here, this goes down there like that. This comes in through here, and again where the paint pulls up there in that background, I'm going to make it a little darker in here. And that goes all the way down here, and it's darker in through here. All in through here, I've got a, where the paint is pulling up against this boundary here. Take that down to there. Take this over here. Again, with lots of paint pulled up down here at the bottom. Just darken this area a little. That goes over there like that. Darken this area a little to describe more just paint pulled up. Then I'm going to take all of this like this and just lightly darken those in there to indicate some sense of a darker surface. Take that and build that up right along there where the paint has pulled up and really pulls up quite a bit here. I'm going to take all of this and make all of this in here darker. And then it comes down in through here and then does another little dark pull up around here. And comes back in through here and does another dark pull up in through here. This in here gets dark. So I'm going to take that and just grab that surface. And this pulls up in through here. And darken up that surface. Get that to come down. This in here too. Darken up that surface. Get that to come down. Down here too. This is super dark back here and semi-dark here. Just go in between those a little, just trying to uniform up that. Go in here, load that up where the paint pulls up. Get that in there darker. Take some lines and go over here. This is one more of those little pull-up places. And I think I can be happy with where that is. Go in here, and this in here is slightly darker. All of this surface in here, it is white. This in here goes here, and that for the most part is white. Take that in there like this. This is take that surface back like this and take this around. I'm going to make this just darker in between these. Go in and I'm going to outline these, this surface now. So here, I'm going to make sure that those shoulders of that bottle line up. This is a label, and again following 2-point perspective. This whole side here is darker in here. I'm just going to darken that up, follow the contour. And this is darker down here, lighter in there. This goes just around there like that. This is round here like this, so I'm going to just indicate that. Take this, and that goes dark around there. This goes dark here. Again, with loading that up. This whole thing is dark, so I'm going to go in through and really indicate that top, but make this darker. This is in shadow in here. And you've got that, what I like to call the shoulder area, that goes that direction, and then this goes more this direction. This comes around like this, and then I've got a label over here. These go across like this, and this goes down this direction. I've got a label over here. And stay with that, the idea of 2-point perspective. Stay with the direction of the lines. This back here is a little darker than this surface. This surface is white, and then this this back here gets a little on the gray side because it's got a dark label on it. And that goes down there like this. This has a slight little surface to it like this. Take this across just to indicate how it moves in through there. Take this and I'm going to indicate the squeezy shift and surface there. This is all dark in here. This was, this in here could be lighter. This in here, it's got this like little crescent type of, almost a, what we think of as yin and yang symbol in there. So that's darker in there. I'm going to just take that and follow the contour of that surface in there. This in here gets a little darker as it falls in the shadow of the cap. This gets a little flat in through here. This stays nice and round. I've got a label here, so I'm going to indicate that. And then it goes in through here, so I'm going to darken that whole thing up and just indicate some sense of the label there, which is darker than everything else. This is a relatively dark tube, so I'm going to take that, follow the contour, again follow the contour, take that in there like this. This goes all the way back there, so I'll take it there. This could be a little more in shadow too. So I'm going to take this because it's darker here and just feed a little bit more ink into here. So I've got that there. Then let's see, now's a good time to get in and start my brushes, the shading in there. This, I'm going to go in here and just make that darker and down through there. This all in here is darker. This is sort of dark. And then down here, sort of dark. I'm going to take all of this and put it into shadow. It's darker than this brush here. There's space in between the two, so I'm going to indicate that with a little bit more darkness. Take these and move that. This is darker here, so I'm going to stick with the idea of the contour and just load in a lot of little lines down in here to get the contour of the pen, the brush in, and go down here and load it a little bit more vertically. And now I've got some dimension there in that brush. This is fairly darker here in this tip. Then it comes down here and is just falls into shadow just a little there. And then this is silver, so it's much lighter. And there's that falling into shadow there. This whole brush is medium in tone, so I'm going to take that around and drop that down into a deeper tone too. Same thing here where I've got the tip of it is a little bit more in shadow, so I'm going to take that there, but the whole thing is darker, so I'm taking that down into shadow. Same thing here where this part of the brush is definitely in shadow here, so I'm going to keep following that contour but take all of this and go about halfway through and make those little teeny lines to really indicate that it's falling into shadow on that side of the brush. And then I've got this indication in here. I'm going to make one of these just a little darker and make that darker in there too. Take that and separate those out by blackening in that more. And again with shading that brush, I'm going to shade this all in here. And then I've got my line, there's a line in there where it goes, I described the shadow of the brush already. And darken this whole thing. Get this to move a little more around by taking those, not making them so regular that they look like stripes, but making them regular enough that it adds a sense of a contour in there. This in here is where I saw it darker. I'm going to take all of this down into shadow here, and then go across here and use the contour of the brush to describe the shape of the shadow too, but keep it within the realm of shading that I've already established. So in here, this is also, I'm going to make it a little different pace than these, the other contours there that describe part of the shape of the metal barrel here. And then this goes here too, take that up. And this is going to be just a little darker in here. So I'm going to take all of this down and again use a different rhythm than what I did to describe that surface, and then maybe make this a little darker to distinguish the pace of the those all over again. Then I'll take these and set it in there like that. I think I'm going to be through with that section. All I've got left is the face, the skull. So I've got some shapes back here. I think I will go in and outline them. That's dark in there like that. This is in here like this. This goes all the way down like that. This goes down here like this. This comes up like this, does this. This is all the same value in here, and this starts defining the shape of those teeth. This goes up like this. This comes over like this. So this is all dark in here. I'm going to go all dark in here. And just drop that down into the value that it should be. Down in here, this is all darker. And take that across like that. This is all dark in here. This comes through down here like this, and sure, why not do that? This comes in and it's a little lighter in there. Comes out like that. This little zygomatic there, and then comes back across here like this. I'm going to throw all of this into the same shadow here. Here's that. This goes back here. This is all going to here too. So I'm going to make all of this one the same value in here. Go across here. Load that in there. Solid shadow here. This goes darker and down here. Get that to pop out different than that. Take that and it's a little lighter than that area in there. This is dark down in here. And it does this line. I'll put the contour of this in like just using it as a linear value. This goes in through here. It gets lighter in here. I've got this area down here that is darker than the rest of that. So I'm dropping that down. This here is medium, and it's the same value as all of this around here. This comes out and pops out as wider than the rest of the bone there. Take this down in value. This is going to be, this needs to be a little darker. And this is going to be about the same value as all of this back here. So take that and I'm going to follow something of the contour of the bone. And that comes down like that. This goes in through like this. So I'm going to make that there, that line, just to direct the eye over there. And then I'm going to shade this in so it's all about the same value. Try to not, I'll make that line a little darker. And then this a little more filled in. This goes all the way over to here, so I'm going to make that in here darker. This is fairly dark in here. I'm going to darken all of that up, but keep it lighter than that area in the back. This is all about the same value, so I'm going to take some of those lines and go in here darker. I'm going to go in here and play with this side over here because I want to do the details of the teeth last. So go in here, this is a little on the dark side. This V in here is definitely darker. And then go across here to darken up all of that. That stays light out there. This comes in around like this, and it's about like that. This comes in, there's the line of the teeth, comes down around like this. This is darker in here. So I'm going to go in here with this, and then this comes down like this. I'm going to just darken all of this up in here. Make it darker than what's around it. And darken it up just a little in here. And a little in through here. And just a little in through there. And this goes down in like this. This is lighter than that, but still darker. This in here, I've got another little indentation here in this jawbone where it comes up like that, but I'm gonna go back in here and reaffirm that. This all in here, I'm going to make this darker, again, just to describe those shifts in the jawbone there. I'm going to go back in and darken this up in here so I have a distinction between those bones. So just being over emphatic about my the contours in my skull. And this in here is lighter. That's darker. This goes in here, and it there's a little bit of darkness in here, so I'm going to see if I can get just a nice light outline on these teeth. In here, there's a shadow that falls fairly heavily across here, and then all of these teeth back in here, although they're distinguished individually. I'll do that by the virtue of the shadow there at the bottom. This one comes back here, and this actually is fairly dark in here, so I'm going to just darken that up so I can have those teeth pop out just a little more than they already are. And that is in there like that, and that comes around about like that. So that, I think I can be happy with that. There's this tooth comes in there and it's flat, then it comes down and goes around like that. This is where it goes deep in there and dark in here. This comes down here, and from this tooth to down here is about where that is, and this goes over a little slightly dark down there, and it comes around and I'll make a little bit of the outline of the bottom of the teeth there to help give that a little bit more of the form. This in here, like I said, I can go darker in here. This is comes in through this tooth and down in through here. And this goes back up like this. This comes around like that. That tooth stays. There's that. And then this is underneath here. All of this goes into shadow down underneath this tooth and this part of the jaw. And this comes down around here, and this all is sort of square in there. And I've got little those dimples that are in the jawbone, so I'm going to put that in there. And then this comes around like this, so I'm going to put a little bit more of those teeth mark in there. And this comes around like this. Then I'm going to put all of this into the same value. And then wrap this around, sort of like the contour of the chin, hoping I get a little bit of that happening in there. This is darker in there. That gets dark in there. This comes down like this and does this. And all of this goes a little more forward like this. And then this is, I'm going to make this darker in here by just tightening up that weave. Go back in. Try to get that value consistent with that whole area in there so it can stay in the on the level it needs to be on. This back here, this all goes into shadow much more. And following the contour of the skull a little. It's all in shadow. This goes into a same shadow as this in here, and behind that occipital lobe there. This goes in like this, comes out like this, and goes down like that. And this is in shadow here. It goes down into black from here to here. All of this is more in shadow than I've got it currently, so I'm going to darken that up and take all of this and use that same mark in there, but take all of this down much lower in value. And take that lower in value too, but not as low as the rest of the back of the skull. I'm going to take this down lower in value too. Okay, then let's see here. This is in shadow in here too. This goes in here, and there's a separation. This is as dark as this in here. This goes down here, and there's a little separation in there too. More of a separation in between these bones. Go back over that. It's not that light. Take this down in tone. This here is there's a little bit of a darkness in here, and like this. This is going to be white around there, so I'm going to go in and make that different. Take that and allow that all to drop down. This goes in all the way around here, and this is all darker in here too. Again, trying to follow the contour of that bone just a little, taking that in through here, taking that in through there. This is lighter in there, but this is all dark and the same value. This in here, I'm going to go in and start the nasal cavity. That's darkest in there, down dark in here. This goes up in like this. This comes around like this. This got the sinus bone in there. Come in and darken this cavity in. This is all darker in here. Dark in here, take that. Darker in here. This is relatively dark, so I'm going to go in there, shade all of that up. Keep that bone established in there. I want to go darker in here. This comes in darker in through here, following the contour of that dip in the skull just a little. This comes out all the way over here, darkening that up, have it fall into shadow a little more, come in through here and establish that again with, this is all going to be lighter in here. And I feel like I can take a little bit of liberty and go in there like that. This is darker in here and go all the way to there. This out here is darker than that. This in here is darker than that. And this is the darkest part in here. Gonna, got a cramp in my elbow again. And this comes down through here, over there, shifts. This goes fairly dark in here. I'm gonna go ahead and go black all the way in here. Then from here to here, just taking that down to a super dark level. It's the darkest point in this area, in this shape, where the deepest, darkest part of that eye is. Feel fairly comfortable going in here and darkening that up just a little more. And in there is going to be white, and here I'm going to take this up all the way around and make that slightly dark, but not as dark as what's underneath it. And take this over to, see, that is going to be light. Take that around like that. And here that's going to be white. This is sort of dark in through there. And again, that's going to be a little darker. Leave that in there, darken that up. Take this over all the way down. This is going to all be darker in here. And then drop this down into shadow. It's not going to be as dark as what's next to it. This gets dropped down into shadow. Not as dark as what's next to it. This goes darker down here too. So I think I can live with that. This, I'm going to drop this down a little darker so I can have more contrast between this area in here. I'm going to take this There's that there, that goes in like that. This is darker. It shows that brow bone. This is darker in here. Just do a little bit of shading in there. And then this goes up fairly darkly here. This goes up here. I'm going to darken that in there. And then take that up this direction over here and shade all of that in. Take that again. Try to add in a little bit of the direction of the skull. And then I'm almost finished in here. All of this in here, I want, I'm going to take this and tighten up that weave in there. Tighten that all the way up to there. Take that over here. A little bit more darkness in through there. Then I can darken that up. And take this across like this. And then shade that in. Again, following the contour of the skull. I feel like that's a little too regular looking. So I'm going to take some of those in there. I'm going to take this all the way down to here, darken this up just a little. I feel okay about that. This is okay. I'm going to darken that in there a little. Darken this a little to get that part of the nasal cavity to fall a little bit more into shadow. Then from about right here to here, and then back over here is where I've got this shadow can come in, and so I'm going to go in and just make all of that darker. Again, try to follow the contour of the bone just a little. Come down around here to this area. Make that go that direction. Put a couple different directions in there. Take this all the way down here. I'll make that fairly strong. And then I'll make this directionally fairly strong too. All of this is darker than this. This is darker than that. I'm going to fill that in. And then take this all the way down. And in that direction. Again, this can be just a little darker, and it'll keep up with the pace of this back here. Make this a little darker, make this a little darker. Make that a little darker. And then I'm going to take that and just shade that in a little. This is, I'm going to shade that in just a little darker. Shade this in just a little darker. The pen's acting funky again, so I think it's not the pen. I think it's something about this paper and areas of this paper that are have like maybe too much of a waxy buildup or something on it, because that's what it winds up feeling like. It feels like a waxy buildup. So I'm going to take all of this and darken that down too. And then that's going to leave me with this in here. And part of my problem in here is my pen is acting like a fool again. Take that down. You see, it's just giving me really sketchy lines, but I'll work around that and try to work within the idea that my pen is not as wonderful as I want it to be. So I'm going to go in here and make that, just reaffirm that line, get it a little stronger right in there. Take this and darken this whole area in here up a little, and this in here too. I think I can, maybe I'll just leave that white in there like that. Take this and this is fairly dark in here. Go darker in here, and just allow me to go a little darker in here. Take that bone and I'm going to just wrap that around to where the other part of the brow bone is. Got a little bit of value I can just stick in there to define a little bit of the cheek. This in here is, again, where I can go a little darker in here, where this comes around and does this kind of thing, and it joins down to that tooth there. This is a little area I want to leave white, and then I'm going to go in and just subtly shade all of this in here, and again with a pen that doesn't want to quite behave. Get in there and describe the contour of those teeth just a little better. That in there is dark. I can and just go in there and just slightly indicate the that shift in there. This comes down from here and this is darker in here, goes light in there. This all comes around, and this is darker in here. I'm going to darken that up by throwing those lines in a little closer to each other, so that way I can come in and plant the value in here that I am interested in planting in here, and that's going to be just slightly lighter than the area around it. Come in here and shade this, and a little bit of shade to that part of the face. Come in here, this can go up, I'm calling it the face, but you know, skull face. Go in here and just slightly distinguish that out. And I do believe I am finished. This is the finished drawing. Thanks for joining me. Bye.